Good afternoon. You're the only ones left not having lunch, so I'll try to make it as interesting as possible and hopefully share some best practice. So I'm responsible for AHP's public sector business for cloud in Europe, Middle East and Africa. So what I'd like to do today is share with you what we're seeing happening in various countries across Europe, Middle East and Africa, and what is the idea of cloud and how that may potentially benefit Albania as well. And in fact, I'd like to finish the session with an initiative which I believe can be very useful for the service providers, software vendors, and the Albanian economy maybe over time. So what is cloud? Well, cloud is a little bit of a fashion, to be honest. I mean, you know, in the old days we called it intranet, then we called it hosted systems, managed systems, etc. Cloud, what it does do, it's just a different way of delivering services to citizens, businesses, customers, more efficiently, easily, and hopefully in a more cost-effective fashion. So cloud is it's the automation of those sort of services going forward. But having spent some time with some of the colleagues since I've been here in Albania, and also talking to Minister Harito as well, it's really impressive to see how much Albania has achieved so far from the cloud and providing services point of view. And you know, I do go around Europe and see other countries, etc. And I have to say, you compare really well with others. So you know, feel good about it and take it to the next level, hopefully. Okay, so cloud. I think we need to talk about why is cloud so important for businesses, governments, etc. Although I represent government sector, the benefits are really similar across most of the organization. And the starting point for most customers or most organizations to look at cloud is we want to reduce cost. So this is effectively where things start. And there are now figures where organizations have saved 40% because moving to cloud, better utilization of services, etc. I think the IT modernization is quite important, and what we as customers are demanding from the organization, whether it is government or whether it is commercial organization. We are using our iPads and our Facebooks, etc. on the system. We demand those better services from the other organizations that we interact with. So this is also pushing stuff. But there are also some barriers and questions that come out from cloud. Where is my data? Where is it located? And from a government point of view, that can be quite sensitive. Then security, privacy of that information. Who has access to what I do? And I think those things are things that I'll tackle a little later on. But another benefit of cloud is that you pay as you go. You don't pay upfront for things that you may use one day of the year. You pay for that one day only. Whereas in the old days, you had to buy things for the one day you might use, and so therefore that wasn't necessarily the most cost effective. So cloud brings those things. But the other thing that cloud is enabling organizations to think about is what I put on the right-hand side on the considerations. We are promoting open standards. Why? In the old days, lots of solutions were offered by companies that had specific technologies, etc., which in a way locked customers into certain solutions. The idea of cloud is that it's a bit like internet. It shouldn't be owned by anyone, any big organization, or any entity. It is free to be used by everyone, and we believe cloud should be the same. So openness standards is key for you to be able to move from one cloud provider to another because you feel the service is better, faster, cheaper, etc. So that's become quite important. No vendor locking. Now, I'm from HP. We sell lots of hardware to some of your organizations too. It's quite important that we make this cloud offering as free for you to choose whoever you want the service from, and also what hardware, software you use. I think this is quite a key part of that. Data location, privacy, we talked about. And I will come to the hybrid solution concept, which is really what we see most organizations considering as a path to move to cloud. And the other issue is that there are many organizations who have not spent money in their IT infrastructure over the last few years. So our view is you shouldn't throw away what you have invested. You should be incorporating and embrace that investment in your journey to cloud. So we call cloud a journey. It's not going to happen overnight. It also mentioned in the earlier by the minister, your 300 plus services that you want to enable by 2017. These things take time. And our view is that there will be two worlds that we will be living in. One is the old world, or what we call the legacy, and one is the new world, where the new cloud actually will bring to us. And that bridge has to be managed and maintained in a seamless fashion. And that's really why we believe in the concept of hybrid cloud. Right. And the idea of hybrid is that you might have some private cloud, you might have some public cloud usage, but an organization, our view is that an organization needs to have the flexibility that is provided by various cloud offerings to really maximize what is right for the organization. So there may be some applications that will never move to cloud because they are 10, 15 years old, so therefore you may actually change those in time. There may be some data, like patient information, or tax information, or security, government security, etc., that you may actually want to keep it on a private cloud, which is a little bit like your intranet, locked away, it's got your name on it. But there are some fantastic offerings from the public cloud, which is faster, cheaper, easier to use for some information. So being able to do all that, we believe, is really what the hybrid concept brings to organizations. But again, cloud is not about, it's not just about cost. And as you can see from this chart, about a year ago, cost was over here. But now, it's actually, what is it that you get out of cloud? What is a service? Cloud without a service is like a fast car without a driver. It is no good to anybody. So service is absolutely crucial, and that's why when the minister is talking about 200 plus services to come along, this is what cloud is enabling you to use in an efficient and faster fashion. So it's services first. Then we believe it's the hybrid because of what I mentioned in terms of private, public, etc. Interoperability, this is really important. And interoperability is being able to link applications, technologies together to give best service for the user. And open the standards we talked about, but we're all expecting that cloud is going to bring cost efficiency as well. And again, cloud these days is not all about what technology it provides, but what services it can provide. So here you've got e-health record, licensing application, welfare services, and I'm having spoken to some of your colleagues today. Some of these services are already available in Albania, which is fantastic. I can tell you, not many countries are doing it in the same level as you are. And so, what we believe is good from a cloud usage point of view is when you have a private cloud, public cloud, whether that is Azure and Amazon or Google or HP, and then you create some new applications. It's the ability to put all that in one dashboard so you can see what is the security levels, what is the cost models, etc., that you can then maximize your usage for the best results. And from an HP perspective, we have a concept of HP Helium, which is our brand for cloud. It's all about open standards for usage, development tools, and the network of connecting suppliers that can bring richer services to our customers. Now, just wanted to sort of share with you a number of services and setups of cloud. This is probably the best developed that we've come across, which is the Flemish government, offering government services to citizens in an interactive fashion. So the citizens can request stuff and the government can push stuff to them. But I think this is effectively the route that Europe very much going to. Some other organizations have taken a more phased approach. So over a number of years, they are implementing services. So therefore, they are not going big bang on the services. And this is one of your neighbors, Hungary, where they've implemented a government cloud that is offering services to all their departments, which is a little similar to what NICE does in Albania. Now, looking at some of the challenges, why is the take-up of cloud is not as much as expected? So if you look at some of the EU reports of old, EU talked about 2.5 million new jobs, 160 billion euro per year by 2020 contribution to economies, etc. And we haven't really achieved that benefit as yet. And the reasons behind it is really, first of all, our users are still needing to understand why should we move to cloud. So education is quite an important aspect of that. Then the next one is security. I want to know where my data is, I want to know that it is safe, privacy, etc. So this is quite a big one. Cost then plays an issue. Then this one comes along. There aren't enough services. So for instance, if the government in Albania were able to offer 400 services today to the citizens, to the businesses, then there would be potentially more usage of the cloud services. So we get this all the time. There aren't enough services on catalogs that are being drawn now. And then these are service level agreements. Now if we take all of those, we've come up with a concept, what we call Cloud 28+. This is an initiative from HP. It's free of charge to join, so there is no concept of payment. But the idea here is that you're not the only one that have these sort of limitations potentially around services and capacities, etc. If you look at Europe, there are lots of cloud services that are offered by telecommunications companies and government organizations. So these guys, for instance, if you take the French organization, they are only looking at France, and they can only offer services to the French citizens. We've come up with this concept of what we call catalog of catalogs, but data secured locally, which is the important part. The idea here is that service providers put their services onto this master catalog, and consumers or other service providers can take some of these services and offer them to their own customers, but executing the application in their local data centers. So if you are in Albania, and you are Albanian Telecom, for instance, or NICE, you see an application that might have been put up there by the Hungarian government that may be relevant to Albania. You have two options. You can either execute it in Hungarian data center, or you can actually say, I would like this to be executed in Albania. And that's the choice we want to give our consumer, that you should be able to decide where your data should sit because of security reasons. You should be able to utilize the best cost and requirement model to your desire. So our idea here is that if you look at various stakeholders, so if you're a telco organization, you are now able to have a European access to your services, both from, it could be capacity, it could be catalogs, services that you put up on the system. You're also able to take services provided by other service providers and offer them to your own customers. So you're selling more, you're pushing more traffic to your data centers, etc., and you're getting a better value. And by the way, if one of your services is sold by another service provider, you also make some money out of that. So that's a great thing. If you're looking at software vendors, what they do is, once you write an application, you're no longer just seen by Albanian users. If you put it on this catalog, you're seen by whole of Europe. So suddenly, one man, innovative idea, a great idea, is now seen by everybody. So that creates more revenue, it creates more opportunities, etc. And from a public sector point of view, of course, what it means is the cost is potentially reduced, but you're also helping your ecosystem, your skills base, etc., for your own citizens. And Minister Harito mentioned innovation, jobs, skills, economic boost. We think this concept may enable Albania to achieve these, as well as help roll out those 300+ services, because some of those services may have already been created by another government that may actually be relevant. We are having a number of discussions with a number of organizations in Albania since I've been here, and our desire would be to have a number of service providers and software vendors to join this community to enable better publicization of what Albania is capable of doing, as well as improving the services that might come along. And if all that is able to contribute to the development of Albanian economy, the skills, etc., and make a showcase of it, I think that would be fantastic for everyone. Thank you very much.